right after Thanksgiving to get it up. And you talk about, you think you get in a game and the other team can pressure you.
No.
Not like the pressure to put the Christmas tree up. So I got it. We got it up pretty quickly.
How's it look?
I mean, it looks okay.
Does it?
It's not the best tree in the world, but it's not the worst. No, it's kind of like we like to tell our guys, it's a solid tree.
Okay.
It's just a solid tree. I mean, people will come and say, man, that's a nice tree. They're not going to say it's a great tree. It's a solid Christmas tree.
Do we have presents underneath that solid Christmas tree yet? Not yet?
No presents. Not as of right now. We're still in the process of figuring out what Sadie and Claire can destroy on Christmas Day. We have to get a present that's destroyable because it probably won't last past Christmas Day, but no presents under it yet.
Sadie is here. Now, a lot of people have probably met her at the games. If they haven't, they have probably seen her. How old is she?
Sadie will be 2 in February.
So she'll be 2?
Yeah, she'll be 2 years old in February.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
That's right.
She acts 3 or 4 to me. She looks well beyond her years in activity and maturity, and she is a very, very active young lady.
She acts 13.
Yes.
When you guys aren't around at home. But I get payback on women's game days when we don't play because when we are playing, my wife follows Sadie around and has to kind of chase her, keep her off the floor. But when Kevin and them are playing, now it's my turn. And I think that's what everybody sees. I'm just praying and doing my best to keep her off the floor. I mean, that's my biggest fear is it's a 2-on-1 break and Jasmine's got it on one side and Heather's on the other side and defender's back and Jasmine makes a move and passes it to Heather and the defender is standing there to take a charge and Jasmine runs over to the defender and the defender falls right on Sadie. That's my nightmare. So we just try to keep her away from the court.
Because Sadie wants to be on the floor. She loves basketball.
I don't know if that she loves basketball, but she just loves going places she's not supposed to go. And she's definitely not supposed to be on the floor, and she knows that. So she's getting to the point where she kind of knows basketball. We took her to the game the other day, and we walked in the gym, and she said, basketball. So she's getting to that point where she knows what it is, and obviously she doesn't understand the game yet, but she knows she's not supposed to go on the floor, so that's the first place she wants to go.
And when I'm talking about her activity level, no kidding, it's off the chart. She's very alert. She's aware of everything that is going on around her, and now she's coming over here right now. But it's just fascinating to me. I don't think I've ever seen a kid her age as active as she is.
Yeah, she's very active. She loves to play. There'll be times at the house where she just wants to get in the car and go somewhere.
Yeah.
She doesn't like being in the house. She's not a big toy girl. We don't have a bunch of toys for her. She likes to read books or look through books, but she wants to go play outside. And we're starting with the kicking a soccer ball. I'm trying to teach her how to kick a soccer ball so we can get in the backyard and she can kick the soccer ball. If you give her a basketball, she'll hold it and run around the gym. I mean, she just wants to be playing. She doesn't like to be indoors. She just wants to be playing, doing something. So it's fun, but it's very tiring.
She's wanting to go play pinball out there right now, I think.
Yeah, she's just hesitant. Not really sure. I think it's probably only her second or third time in Snappies. Yeah. So she's really not sure where she can go or can't go as of right now.
Coach, you played a game this past Saturday. Let's talk a little bit about our game in Nashville where we go to Lipscomb.
I kind of rather just talk about Sadie and them as bad as we played. Can we talk about something else?
We'll make it quick. It'll be a short segment. No, Coach, I'm telling you, you came in really kind of with your back against the wall in that one because you had so many players hurt. I looked over there on the sideline, and this is while we're warming up, and there's Terrence, Cordario's over there, Jeremy's over there, Justin's over there, and they're telling him not to touch a basketball, and then Bobby Jones is over there, and 5 of your top players are not even going to get to play in this game.
We figured 54 points and roughly between 25 and 30 rebounds.
On the bench.
We're sitting in civilian clothes on Saturday. And obviously, we don't make excuses. And our guys are still Division I players. I was disappointed in how our guys responded to that adversity. 2 nights earlier, we had the same type of adversity. Terrence and Jeremy were already out. Cordario was already out. And Bobby and Justin go down in the second half. And so now that same bunch that played on Saturday, they had to play. They had to finish the game. But I said it kind of before the game to some of the staff, and after the game, it's just you saw the difference you saw the psyche of a college basketball player in that game. When we played on Wednesday, those guys didn't have time to sit back and think, man, I really shouldn't be playing.
That was at Central Arkansas.
Yeah,
Bobby
Central
and Justin
Arkansas.
go down in the second half.
Second half, about 7 minutes left. We're down 5. Central Arkansas goes up 11. We cut it to 1. They go up 3. We get it to 2. We end up getting beat 1. And, again, those guys at that time had no chance to look at each other and say, what are we doing?
Right.
I shouldn't be playing. It's late in the game. I should not be playing right now. They had no chance to do that. But you take 2 days from there. You play Wednesday. You practice Thursday and Friday. They've got 48 hours to kind of almost 72 hours to look at each other and say, guys, what are we going to do?
Right.
And I think to an extent they psyched themselves out. We had a lot of young guys, a lot of newer guys who had just gotten here, a lot of older guys who hadn't played that much in that game. So they kind of psyched themselves out. And so I knew it would be hard, but at the same time I was disappointed in how they responded with their effort. I thought we came out and were way too tentative. We haven't been that tentative in a long time, probably before Thanksgiving. And they just didn't respond to the adversity. I mean, even if you don't win the game, there's a certain way to play.
Right.
There's a certain effort level, a certain intensity, a certain passion you have to play with, and they didn't in that game.
How do you approach that? I mean, if you're a freshman and you've never been in this situation, you're feeling pressure that you've never felt before because you're in a Division I college basketball game. You haven't started. You haven't played in the last 5 minutes. You're not relied upon as much to score and shoot as you were the other night. So you put too much pressure on yourself and you psych yourself out. The other side of that is you're too hyped up for it. I mean, I'm going to come out and score 30, and your expectations are high, and you come out and you miss your first 3 shots, and then your output is not meeting your expectations. So for an 18 or 19-year-old, how do you approach that game?
That a game like Saturday has to be won, quote unquote, on Thursday. You have to start getting your mind right on Thursday of how you have to play. You can't show up on Saturday and say, "Oh, I'm good, I'm ready." No, on Thursday you have to ask the right questions. Mm-hmm. You have to try to be in the right spots, and then Friday carry that over from Thursday, and then when you get there Saturday, you've already done it. You've already done it. And I think that's a big thing with athletes, at least our guys a lot, is that sometimes our practices aren't great, but they think they can turn it on game day.
You know what it reminds me of? And they teach you this in public speaking. If you have to make a speech and you're scared of making speeches, know it a week before you make that speech and look in the mirror and do it over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
And then have some note cards in case you speak all the time. You speak to Kiwanis and Rotary.
Yes.
And if you forget and you're having trouble, you have your note cards. But the number one thing is you're prepared and you have a plan.
Yes. And with public speaking, you've recited that speech so much the days before the speech that even if you get off track, you know it. You know what comes next. And it's the same thing in basketball.
And the main thing is going into it, you're not nervous because you know it.
Because you're prepared.
Right.
You know, and that's huge. And I think it's the same thing in basketball is that you have to prepare yourself throughout the week. So when you do get into a gym with 18,000 people and the heat's on you and guys are up in you a little bit, you don't panic because you've already been through it. You know, our practices most days are as hard or harder than any game we can play. You know, the Arkansas State game that all our fans saw, that's an everyday occurrence in practice. Mm-hmm. That kind of intensity, that kind of effort is an everyday occurrence in practice. And that's by design. I want our practices to be so much harder than any game. So when they get to the game, they say, man, this is easy, man. We've done this. I mean, this is nothing compared to what we went through yesterday. And that's the idea. Leading up to that game on Saturday, our practices were okay, but you could tell the new guys and some of the returning guys were a little hesitant, not knowing what to expect. And we went down early against Lipscomb and kind of saw the result.
Final score in the game was 86-62. UT Martin fell to Lipscomb, and as Coach said prior to that, lost by 1 at Central Arkansas and Conway, 87-86. And again, Coach, I mean, I hope we get those players back and get them back soon. And the younger players who haven't had a lot of experience, when you put in those situations more and more, they'll get better.
Yeah, they have to. They don't have a choice. And with experience, hopefully they'll gain confidence. And with that confidence, they'll start to understand more what we're asking them, and they'll get better. If they get better individually, it won't do anything but make our team better.
Because I looked out there at one point, and it was not anybody's fault. It's just the choices you had to make given what you had. And we had no returning players on the floor. We had 5 newcomers, and their average point total on the season, I don't know if you combined maybe 10 points or 8 points. I mean, we just didn't have a lot of scorers out there.
Yeah,
it was tough. I mean, everybody was in a situation they haven't been in this
year.
year.
Yeah, we had to manufacture points, and that was kind of what we went through some last year. Kind of the same deal. I mean, I think our talent level's a little better this year, but last year, yeah, without Terrence and Mike not being 100%, and we had to go through the same type things, asking guys to do things we really didn't bring them here to do. But it is what it is. We played the hand we're dealt. We'll continue to compete no matter who's on the floor.
Okay, take a break. We'll come back with more from Skyhawk Talk. Snappy Tomato Pizza on the Skyhawk Sports Network.